No more silence, we'll raise our voice. For every hero, we'll make the choice.
Hi everybody, Todd Belknap, Executive Director of Veterans Helping Veterans USA. We're coming to you from our podcast studio, Florida Veterans United. I'd like to thank the man behind the curtain here, Brian Lang, retired U.S. Navy, who is our media manager and making all of this possible. So thank you to Brian. So before we get started with our guest today, I want to reach out and share with everybody a targeted marketing campaign that's happening here at Veterans Helping Veterans USA, and it is called Mission 1776. What this is, it's no different than, say, St. Jude or Tunnel to Towers, giving $11 a month, or St. Jude with $19 a month. Here at Veterans Helping Veterans, we're looking for $17.76 per month for a year. That's it. It comes, and if you want to keep donating after that, we more than welcome you to do so. But the $17.76 a month comes out to $213.12 a year. And where that, or 59 cents a day. And where that money goes is we put in a side kitty to help the homeless and at-risk veterans here in Marion County. We estimate there's about 200 to 250 homeless veterans and countless at-risk veterans. We're a standalone 501c3 donation-driven organization here, and we rely on generosity from you and grant initiatives to keep our doors open to help heroes who walk in our midst here in Marion County. So this Mission 1776 is going to be driven by your donations. It's put in a side kitty, and then it helps get the homeless veterans off the street and into a dwelling that they can call their own. So how can you do that? Great question. You go to our website, mission1776.org. That's mission1776.org. You'll see a Donate Today tab. You click on that and you just fill the information out like you would if you're buying something off of Amazon. You get to pick when it starts. You get to pick when it stops. You can do this by credit card, debit card, or check. And if you'd like to do cash, you can drop it off here at 2730 East Silver Springs Boulevard here in lovely Ocala, Florida. Now, if you do this, this is a write-off. We are a nonprofit, so any donations you do to us, we give you an in-kind letter. You write it off on your taxes. So it's a win-win from you to us, ultimately landing in the laps of the homeless and at-risk veterans, help get them off the street. Any questions, give me a call directly on my cell phone, 352-342-1775. So that's enough about the plug for the get out your wallets. So why we're really here today, the man to my right is a humble man, so he's going to deny everything I say about his accolades. He is an American hero. There's no doubt about it. He's a Vietnam veteran, 3 tours. He is an accomplished author. He's, correct me, Mike, 5. You're working on number 6 now?
Working on number 6.
Working on number 6 and all the spare time he doesn't have. So we've become good friends. We're dinner partners with our other halves and other couples, Bob and Barb Schmidt. And he is a delight, and he is a very knowledgeable man about the military. And so, Mike Sutton, thanks for being here today.
It's my honor.
Appreciate it.
My honor. Thank you.
And so, Mike, tell us a little bit. So you did 3 tours here. I'm looking at your cheat sheet here, 64 and 65.
Yep.
And then again in 66, 67,
Yep.
and 69 and 70. So before we get into your good works here, tell me about your military service.
Well, I wound up, I'll tell you a little backstory. I was a kid in Chicago, and I was a part of what my friends and I called the club, and the police and the neighbors called the gang. And I had a few run-ins with the constabulary. And so finally I was in front of a judge, and he said, Mr. Sutton, I'm going to give you 2 options. He said, you can leave here, and if you come back within 72 hours and show me proof of enlistment in any branch of the U.S. Army, or any branch of the U.S. military, we'll dismiss these charges. Or behind door number 2, you can become...
So he was really Monty Hall.
Yeah. You can become a PhD in license plate manufacturer in Joliet, Illinois. Right? So I left the courthouse. I turned right. First recruiter I came to was the U.S. Army.
Yep.
In 1963, if you had a pulse
Yeah.
you were in.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have one, they could issue a waiver.
Yeah.
So I found my young derriere at Fort Knox, Kentucky, taking basic training.
All right.
After that, went off to Fort Benning for infantry basic. And at the end of that, came down on orders to go to someplace called Vietnam. Hadn't really ever heard of it.
I was just going to ask you, so for
Yeah.
our listening audience, maybe desensitized because now everybody knows.
Yeah.
But back then, the world was a lot bigger. Had you ever heard?
I wasn't paying attention to the news as
Right.
I was getting involved with the law in
Right.
Chicago. So,
Right.
no, I didn't. I had no idea where it was.
Yeah.
So I wind up in Saigon, signed to MACB, Military Assistance Command, Vietnam, and spent the first tour in Pleiku, Ban Me Thuot, and Dalat.
Okay.
In Ban Me Thuot, you have to understand that the Montagnards, what we call the hillbillies of Vietnam, were absolutely the fiercest fighters on our side.
Okay.
But they hated the Vietnamese, and the Vietnamese hated them. And the Vietnamese government was trying to move them around to other areas in their homeland.
Right.
And so in 1964, they revolted. And so for about 2 weeks, it was a rather tense atmosphere in Ban Me Thuot.
Right.
But we finally calmed down, and after that I was in Pleiku for a while, and then I finally wound up at the Vietnamese Military Academy in Dalat. Finished out my tour there. It was interesting working with the cadets there. So curtain falls, curtain rises, I go get reassigned to Fort Bragg, spend about 1.5 years in Fort Bragg, and come down on orders to go to Vietnam. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why is this? And somebody said, well, you're an advisor, right? And I said, yeah. He said, do you know the country? I said, well, yeah. He said,
Yeah.
Do you speak the language? I said, well, I know all the profanity words.
All right, all the important
That's
ones.
right, all the important stuff. Right? And he said, I'll bet you it's a lot easier to send advisors back than it is to make new advisors. And that made a ton of sense to me.
Sure did.
So I went back, wound up back in MACB again. Wound up in the Mekong Delta in Bac Lu, Vietnam, way deep in the Mekong Delta, with the 21st ARVN Division. Spent 1 year there working with the regular Army of Vietnam. Curtain falls, curtain rises, I go home, I go back to Bragg. I'm there about 1.5 years, I come down on orders. And I thought, oh boy. Well, it turned out they wanted to send me to Germany. So I get to Germany, and they decided to send me to Italy. And I'm thinking, this ain't bad duty at all.
Yeah.
This is a whole lot better than Southeast Asia.
Sure.
So I'm there for 18 months or so, come down on orders to go to Vietnam. Wound up back in Vietnam in MACB, and back in the Mekong Delta in Bac Lu province once again. But this time I'm on a CORDS team, which is a revolutionary development team that General Westmoreland created in MACV. So now it's me and 6 other Americans in Vinh Chau, Vietnam, Vinh Chau district. And we help, well, first of all, we advised that they had RF and PF, Regional Forces and Popular Forces, kind of akin to our NG and National Guard and enlisted reserves. Right?
Okay. Yep.
But they're essentially peasants that have been drafted or volunteered into the service. So at first, our job was to train them in tactics, train them in weapons, accompany them on combat operations. And when we found the bad guys, we got into contact, we would call in medevacs, airstrikes, so on and so forth.
Right.
We would also help them with revolutionary development in the district. So we didn't drill the wells, but we'd help them drill wells, run medevacs and so on for the populace and stuff like that. So very much different than a MACV advisory team working with a major ARVN unit, either in the Delta or in the Highlands. And that side of the war was very different than what you read about in Full Metal Jacket or the Big Red One or Platoon. Right?
Okay.
Those were American units working with exclusively American infantrymen against primarily the North Vietnamese Army, some in VA, but primarily the North Vietnamese Army. with the Cords team in the Delta the last time, we actually lived and worked with the Vietnamese that them and their families
Okay.
that we were advising. So we got to know them very well
Right.
and developed some really strong friendships. Of course, the downside of that was I figured 25 to 30% of the Vietnamese that we were advising were the VC or VC sympathizers.
Yeah.
So you had to be careful to
But you
make
didn't
sure
know
that,
who those 30% were.
well, to make sure that there wasn't anybody behind you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But we made some really good friendships. So I came home from there and wound up at actually Fort Gordon at the time somehow. Got out in '72, bounced around to various jobs, worked at Granite City Steel in southern Illinois. Worked for Sears actually for a while, repairing appliances,
Okay.
dishwashers, washing machines. Finally went up to visit my mom in Chicago, and I got a letter from a friend of mine that I'd served with at Bragg, and he was now in Connecticut. So he had written me and said, "Why don't you come by for a visit?" Well, I'd planned on going to Colorado, but I mean, Connecticut's right on the way to Colorado from Illinois, so
yeah,
it made
of
perfect
course.
sense to me. So I went to Connecticut to visit for a couple of weeks and stayed 17 years.
I'll be darned. Wow.
Finally, got working construction with him, as a matter of fact. I finally figured out that you can make more money with your mind than you can with your back,
Yeah.
unless you're a plumber.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
went back to school. I had actually quit high school. I'd gotten my GED in the Army, but I was not academically.
Academic.
Mensa wasn't knocking on my door.
Yeah. Right.
So I went back to school. I went to Art State Tech, studied electrical engineering. The first day I walked into school, my goal was to not to be the first in my class to flunk out. And I worked my derriere off.
Yeah.
Graduated 3 years later with a 4.0 average.
Amen.
And the day after I got out of college, IBM hired me. And I went to work there as what they call a customer service engineer, CE.
Okay.
And we maintained the largest IBM processors, the big water cooled processors. I did that for a while. Then I decided that I wanted to become a systems engineer. Got promoted into that. Decided I wanted to get into management. And was looking for a management job, but in order to get a management job in IBM, you had to go to this class called The Day in the Life of a Manager. And it was a week long of episodes or issues thrown at you.
Okay.
You know,
Scenarios.
scenarios. Sally works for you, and you've discovered she's a stripper in her off hours. How do you handle that? Yeah. So things like that. At any rate, I was having a lot of problems mentally, and the VA was running a program called a Veterans Outreach, where it was simply open discussion.
Okay.
And
It's like a peer support thing? Or?
yeah, just it was a group chat,
Okay.
group.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So I went to several sessions, and I would sit there and listen, but I wasn't talking.
Right.
And finally, one of the counselors came up to me one day and he says, "You know, Mike, if you can't talk about this, why don't you write about it?" I thought, okay. So I started writing down different incidents that had happened during the 3 tours.
Right.
And after about a year and a half, I had a spiral ring notebook filled up end to end. And the woman I was dating at the time said, "What are you going to do with it now?" I said, "I don't know."
Yeah.
She said, "Why don't you turn it into a book?"
Now, before you get into that,
Yeah.
how did that? Was it cathartic for you to do that, or?
Yeah, it was. That was my catharsis. No
Okay.
survivors
Okay.
was my catharsis.
Okay.
Because in writing all this down,
Yeah.
I purged a lot of
Good.
a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
I mean, steamer trunks full of baggage.
Yeah.
So I started writing.
Yeah.
I got done with it. Of course, I never walked by a university that had a writing program, so I I was an engineer.
Right.
I could barely spell literary, much less call myself a writer.
Yeah.
So I got one of the other IBMers is a friend named Tom Heed, worked for Turner Broadcasting in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I talked to Tom on the phone, and he agreed to edit it. I hired him to edit it because
Right.
it needed it. We spent the next 5 years rewriting No Survivors about 4 times
Really?
before we thought it was ready for prime time.
Wow.
Finally, I thought it would be easier to get an agent than it would be to take this to a author or to a publishing house as an unpublished author.
Right.
So I sent out about 100 query letters to different agents, and they came back, and some of them asked for sample chapters. They came back and said, "This is very powerful,
Right.
but we don't think that the world is ready for a Vietnam novel yet." So curtain falls, curtain rises. I was living in Maryland. My son comes down for a weekend for a visit, and we went to a movie, a Walt Disney movie called Operation Dumbo Drop,
Oh yeah.
and it's about the GIs dropping an elephant on a Vietnamese.
Bill Murray, right?
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
Bill Murray,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I walk out of the theater. My eyes are getting used to the light, and I'm thinking to myself, if the world is ready for a Walt Disney movie about Vietnam, it may just be ready for a Vietnam novel.
There you go.
So I did go directly to publishers, and a small publisher in Vermont, Golden Quill, came back and said they wanted to publish it. And they were the oldest continuously publishing company in America at that point.
Behind.
And so we worked for another 3 months to get it to their liking. And it came out in August or September of '95.
Okay.
I think they did 3,000 copies. And those sold out in about 2 weeks.
Mm.
And so they did another printing of it. Unfortunately, later the publishing company went out of business.
Mm.
So, okay, fine. It was still available on Amazon and so on and so forth. So I thought, wait, I kind of like this writing thing.
Yeah.
So I was doing a signing at the Pentagon at a trade show for special operations and espionage.
Okay.
We called it the Spooks and Kooks show. And I was there, and I had the great fortune to meet a guy, another Vietnam vet named Don Healy. Bought a copy of No Survivors, and I signed it. And he said, "So what are you going to write next?" I said, "I'd really like to write a book about a bomb squad."
Okay.
He said, "This is your lucky day." He said, "I happen to be the commander of the bomb squad in
I'll
the
be
SWAT
darned.
team."
Wow.
So he said, I want you to call a guy named Joe Constantini. He's lead bomb tech. He said, he'll set you up. So he gives me the number. I call Joe. Wait 3 or 4 days. I don't hear anything from him. Call Joe again. Leave another message. I don't hear anything from him. So I called Don back and I said, "Hey Don, you got somebody else? Because I can't seem to get in touch with this guy, Joe Constantini." My phone was barely off the handset when I put it in the cradle and the phone rang.
Yeah.
It was Joe.
Huh.
He said, "I'm sorry to get back to you." He said, "I thought you were a reporter." He said, "I don't talk to reporters."
Yeah.
So, as I told you earlier, I rode with Joe and other bomb squad members a day a week for 2 months, doing research, going on calls with them, and so on and so forth. And that was the genesis of High Order, which is the second book. And the characters in there are based on real people, as are the characters in No Survivors.
Right.
Those characters are all based on the people that I worked with during the 3 tours. Their names are changed, obviously, but
Sure.
they're real people,
Right.
like them or not. So went on from that, from High Order to Primary Candidates, which is about the 2008 primaries, presidential primaries.
Oh yeah.
So there's an Obama-like character, there's a Hillary-like character, there's a McCain-like character, and it's a international terrorism story.
Okay.
The Iranians get involved. Went on from Primary Candidates to do the Immaculate Infection,
Mm-hmm.
which is another international terrorism
It's a great title,
thriller.
too. I
Oh,
love
thank
the
you.
title.
Where the Iranians really get involved, and we do something similar to what President Trump's doing to them now.
Okay.
And finally, the last book is The Gene Pool Boy, and it's about a drug executive who's tirelessly trying to find an early test for pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
And he fails and fails and fails and fails. And finally he decides to become a pancreatic cancer vigilante.
Okay.
And he decides to go out and try and eliminate the gene pool of the people who have been diagnosed with it and are dying from it,
Okay.
to make sure that their offspring can't spread it.
Right.
Hence the title, The Gene Pool Boy.
Yep. Good title.
So, not a whole lot of shoot 'em up action in it, but it's a detective thriller.
Right.
So, and then the new book I'm working on, working title is Blue Ashes, is about a Venezuelan president and drug lord in 1996 whose son and pregnant daughter-in-law are murdered in Baltimore.
Oh, boy.
And he mistakenly thinks that the Baltimore police were responsible for their killings. So he decides to destroy the Baltimore Police Department. And I'm working on that with probably 15 or 20 different contacts that I've made over the years with FBI agents, CIA agents,
Right.
SWAT teams, bomb team.
Yep.
So I got a ton of opportunity. In fact,
Yep.
as I told you earlier, I'm going up to Virginia the end of this month to spend 2 days with about 20 of these guys who are retired,
Yeah.
which should be fodder for a whole lot of
Get
content in Blue Ashes.
Get the bail money.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. I'll call you. I got your number on speed
Yeah,
dial.
me and Bob will come up and get you.
Yeah, please. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's right.
So,
Wow. So, you've done 5, you're on 6. Yeah. So, how long you been in Florida?
we came down here in October of 2020
Okay.
and escaped the cold and the
Yes.
taxes of Connecticut,
Yep.
and wished we'd come down here 20 years sooner.
I said that very same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went via Connecticut, Michigan,
yeah.
and then down here, and I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
I love it. We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have some good dinners together, and I can't wait for the next one. We have a really good time. Heck, that first time we sat around for what 4 hours,
Yeah.
and that was after the meal.
That's right. That's right.
As I was falling asleep in the M&Ms there. Yeah. Mike
Face
says,
down in the M&Ms.
yeah, I think Todd's tired. I was passed out from a chocolate overdose. So, but yeah. So this is all good stuff, and what we're going to do is Mike is going to have a web page on our communications platform where you're going to have links to his books, and if you're interested in purchasing the books, you click on the book, and then it'll lead you to a purchase page in which you will be able to do so, if that's permissible with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me just say that since the beginning of this year, 100% of all the royalties from these 5 books, and obviously Blue Ashes included,
Right.
go to first responder and veterans organizations.
Amen. Can't go wrong.
American
there.
Legion, Wounded Warriors,
Yep.
your organization,
Yep. Thank you.
and so on.
Thank you.
Which brings me to a question for you, your 1776 campaign.
Yes, sir.
I donate monthly.
Yes, sir.
Do I need to give you indication I want that to go to your 1776 campaign?
No.
Or does it just go into the general fund and you disperse it?
We can do that.
I mean, do whatever you want to with it. But
Okay.
use
We'll
it.
keep. Well, because the IRS is listening, so we'll keep it in a separate kitty.
No,
Well,
you can do it whatever's most
okay.
beneficial for you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So,
yeah. We'll. I'll get with Aparna, our bookkeeper, and have her make sure it's where it's supposed to go. But thank you for that. I appreciate it.
All of these are available on Amazon.
Yeah.
Or they're available on my website, which is mksutton.com.
Yeah.
But by all means, do whatever you can to promote it.
Yeah.
And once again, and for the rest of the year, all of the royalties will come to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mike.
Fair. My
Thank you
pleasure.
very much.
Thank you.
So, when Brian gets done working his magic and he works out any kinks that we got to work out here, Mike's contact information will be at the end of the podcast here, where you'll be able to reach him directly either through email or phone or website. And like I say, on our website, and also will be the link to Mike's books on our website and the Amazon link. So either any way you slice it, you get to the same place a different way. But we encourage you to check these out. These are there's some good books.
If you go to Veterans Helping Veterans, you'll get autographed copies there.
There you go. Yeah, because he brought a whole bunch.
On my website, but
yeah, we will have them here behind glass, right there at our entrance, and so they will be displayed, and it'll be autographed copies of Mike's works. So we thank him for. Hey, we're gonna have veterans crawling all over these things. So and then some. So these, and it'll get me back to. I love a book, not a
Kindle.
No. I love the pages of a real book. So we're also going to be doing in the future as you know, we're part of a new radio program with 104.7 WITG, which is Ocala's classic oldies. Thanks to Ed Rossi, and we'll be doing a segment with Mike in an upcoming Saturday. We're on Saturdays from 11 to 12, and tune in because you'll be hearing Mike at a future Saturday not a signing, but a broadcast. Yeah.
Thank you.
I almost did the whole thing without saying the wrong word, but there, the streak is intact. So, all right. Well, Brian, thanks again for making this happen. We had to pull him out of case management back in here to his natural habitat, the podcast studio, to do this today. So we thank Mike Sutton for joining us today and sharing not only his military service. We thank you for your military service. Thank you for paving the way for guys like Brian and I, and for maintaining our liberties and freedoms that we enjoy today. Thank you.
Thank you,
very
brother.
much.
Appreciate it.
All right, I'll see you at dinner.
Thank you.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Brian. Take care, y'all. See you at the next one.
In the shadows of the night, they fought the fight. Brave hearts, lost souls, searching for the light. With every battle scar, they carry the weight. But we're to lift them up, it's never too late. No more silence, we'll raise our voice. For every hero, we'll make the choice. Together we'll stand, united and proud. For the ones who served, veterans helping veterans is loud. Stand strong together, we'll pave the way for the veterans in need. hope is thin, we'll be their family. We'll let the healing begin. No more fighting alone, we'll walk side by